This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Adam Upper returns to talk about Kevin Smith and his foray into religious satire, and about a sort of true story about a lady bounty hunter who was almost a reality star, with Dogma and Domino. Welcome!
Hello, Tracy. How are you today?
As I was saying before we started recording, I'm very hot.
Yes, yes. It is. Even up in Canada, it is getting really, really hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think today, like I was saying, it was like 30 degrees already at like 9 a.m. and it was stupid. Yeah. And as a person who does not have air conditioning, it's been so much fun the last like 2 weeks.
Yes, and every time like when it gets really hot, I always quote Dogma and Loki Azrael when he gets to the house. No pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than sensual air. And
it's
if
so
you have it 100% is until once I got it, I'm like, he is so right. I immediately thought of him, and he is so right.
I mean, the thing is, I've lived without air conditioning for about 10 years now, and like 98% of the time, it's really not that big of a deal. I'll get like 2 or 3 days where I can't stand it. I'm like, oh my god, and then the rest of the time I'm fine. But that's also because I get to go to work. That's got air conditioning. I get to the mall. That's got air conditioning. I get to drive around. That's got air conditioning.
Or go to the movies. Whatnot. But
yeah, but now because I'm trapped at home in the heat continuously, it feels 10 times worse. You know. So even now this year, I'm like, maybe it's air conditioning.
You'll eat the
a few $100 and yeah.
But at least they're keeping the AC bills or the low or something, or their electricity bills low or like off peak or something still, I think.
Yeah, I think they're still keeping it off peak until the end of July, I want to say. Something like that. So at least that reduces the bills a little bit, but still it's probably adding up quite a bit, especially now.
Especially if it's going to be cheaper, people will be having it on longer and more, then that's going to be a big strain as well. So it's going to be fun.
Right. Yeah, because usually like the middle of the day from like 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. it's low.
People aren't home,
No, people aren't there, and they turn it on when they get back home and whatever.
Or because as you said, you're at work, so work has it, so you don't have it at home, sort of thing. So now it's going to be, it should prove interesting.
Oh, yeah. So, the downfalls of a pandemic. Who knew?
Apparently none of us, really. Because I don't think any of us could have predicted this, really.
No, exactly. But, it happened 100 years ago, and none of the governments actually took precautions to it. So, and now it's come back around again. And they say we never learn from our mistakes.
And the history doesn't repeat itself.
Right? Oh, my God.
But yes. So, and I think I asked you this on one last. I think during the Constantine one, you are or aren't religious. I forgot what the answer was. I'm not. I will say I'm not a religious person. Like many people, including Kevin Smith, I went to Catholic school as a child. Elementary school and high school, and went to university and stuff. Yeah. I haven't really stuck with the Catholicism. But I'm also not particularly against people being religious. It's just the preachy people that really bother me, where they're like, you're going to hell because you don't do exactly what I do. I'm like, exactly. You got to follow this, and this, exactly that, or if not.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want to believe in God, you believe in God. Why are you yelling at me? I didn't stab you or anything. You're fine.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what the overlying thing with this movie is what I think. What was it? Selma Hayek's character. She said like, as long as you have faith, it's okay, sort of thing. Instead of like what you believe, as long as you have faith, and it's all good.
Yeah. No, but isn't it Chris Rock who says you shouldn't have beliefs, you should have an idea?
Yeah.
You can change ideas, but not beliefs.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot harder to change the idea than the belief than idea or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this movie definitely has a lot of
philosophical and notes to it because it is based on religion and morality and all that kind of stuff.
And I'd always, that's my always thing. I always think he's having fun with it instead of making fun of religion, which I know, which some people kind of don't see the difference.
Yeah. Wait. So before we get into are you religious though?
I'm I'm atheist. So
okay.
Hopefully it doesn't offend anybody that's listening to this. That's wanted to listen to Catholicism, whatever.
Unfortunately, it's about religion. You're going to offend somebody.
Yeah, true enough. So
unless you're actively going, to be offensive, you're going to offend somebody no matter how carefully you choose your words.
Yeah, true enough. So, so hopefully nobody's listening to it. I will offend anybody with this, really. But of course, if you're watching a Kevin Smith movie and if you like it, then I'm fairly certain you won't be offended by this podcast. I don't think.
Exactly, right? I mean, come on. You came in with a Kevin Smith movie.
Exactly. Even he can protest his own movie. Yeah. Yeah, you heard about that, right? Yeah, because obviously, if you've read, it was probably the first or second The Evening with Kevin Smith. Yeah, well, he goes into the story because obviously it's a religious movie, the church was protesting the movie.
It was the Catholic League, I believe it was called.
Or something like that, yeah. So the one where the one in Red Bank by his place, him and his friend Brian Johnson, who was his lifelong friend who's also on Comic Book Men, went to go protest the movie, and then he was saying that the local news got there, and then the reporter came out of the thing, saw him, looked down at her notepad, looked up to him, back down, little pedal came up, and he's like, "Are you him?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm Brian Johnson." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he actually there's the news clip where he's like, Brian Johnson, it's him bitching about his own movie.
But I love the fact he joined it because he was just on his way home, and he's like, "What's going on over here?" And then he just joined in with them.
He's like, "Why not?"
Well, I mean, tell the truth, why not? Indeed. So, and most the people there didn't recognize him except for the reporter because they had a picture of him. Yeah. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. It's cool."
And I think they said basically they wanted the Weinstein Company to ditch it because they were owned by Disney at the point. There was as long as Disney guys really don't care sort of thing.
I think.
What's the point?
Lionsgate, I think.
Lionsgate was So I think it was part of. I don't want to say Weinstein, but it's the.
It is, company. But it is Weinstein.
But it's owned by them. But it's another company name that I'm thinking of. But anyway, yeah. So. But actually, I really enjoy. I really do still enjoy this movie. I think.
I do. I actually really enjoyed watching this movie. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's probably of his earlier ones, other than the Mallrats, it probably definitely holds up the most. I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then plus two Chris Rock. You can't go wrong with Alan Rickman.
There's so many people in this movie. I always forget how many people. I forgot Janeane Garofalo was in there.
Actually, same here. Soon she popped up, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
but she's only in it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're at the beginning at the abortion clinic.
Yeah. Well, no, technically, it's not an abortion clinic. It's a women's health clinic that happens to have abortion,
which they also perform there as well. Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm going to go on a little rant about this because this shit pisses me off. People are like, all of these places are just abortion clinics. I'm like, they're not abortion clinics. They are clinics. They're health clinics for women that happen to have abortions. It's like any other medical procedure.
Yeah, that's one of many things that happens there.
Yeah, if you go into a walk-in clinic and somebody loses a foot, you don't say it's the amputee clinic. No, it's still a walk-in clinic. Somebody just happened to get their foot amputated there.
Or right? just like me, I got a vasectomy earlier this year, and it was a walk-in clinic, and it's not a vasectomy clinic.
Well, exactly, and so that kind of thing really annoys me.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if this is gonna piss people off or not, but I am very much pro-choice because it is a woman's body. It's up to her, and it's her decision, and. I don't care how much of a quote-unquote whore you are. You are probably not a whore. Something horrible may have happened to you or something else and whatever. But people like to shout out names to women who are promiscuous for some reason. But men who are promiscuous are studs and are cool.
Yeah, I get the fucking high fives and shit.
Yeah, and it's horrible.
Yeah, just exactly what Jay says. Like, the woman's body is their own fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree. So, because one of the things that used to piss me off is that on my way to work, when I used to have to take the TTC, I used to pass by a women's clinic, and across the street every day, because legally they're not allowed to be on their property, right? So across the street from it, every day, there are people holding up signs and chanting and all this kind of stuff. And they're holding up these like horrible pictures and trying to guilt people and stop people. I'm just like, go. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Do you not have a job? Don't you have something to actually help society to do? Because this isn't helpful. Go home, you know? So I just have to say that I may have offended somebody somewhere somehow. But like we said, you know, this is one of those movies that has so many topics of discussion in it that are quote unquote offensive, or people can easily be offended by that. You know, you can't help it.
Exactly. Yeah. I always thought he was having fun with it, is making fun, and that's what people are always assuming what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's actually said, like, one of the things I was reading about him is that he's a Catholic. And he considers himself a Catholic. He's raising his kid Catholic. So he's, like I said, he's having fun with it, not making fun of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was said too, making this movie kind of helped him deal with his faith as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which by the end of it, he could kind of come to that conclusion as well. Like, as long as you're, got your head in the right direction, sort of thing, and not being a dick, you're all good. You're all good.
Well, which kind of makes sense, because by the end of the movie, God still comes and saves the day. You know, this woman, she is technically, she's reborn, and she's given a gift for the world. And it's, you know, and it's a very positive message at the end of it. We can, if we work together, we can save it, no matter who you believe in, whether you're a black apostle who was left out of the Bible, or a Mewes who became a stripper.
Serendipity, that's what her name was, sorry.
Yeah, serendipity,
sorry.
Oh, no worries. But like, it's just, I just think it's crazy that people are so against this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then going back to Jane Garofalo at the clinic or whatever, like, she says it perfectly. Like, just think of it as a glass. Like, as you're a kid, smaller glass takes a little water to fill a glass. That's the waters of faith. Mm-hmm. You're older, glass gets bigger, takes more water to fill a glass, more faith. Sort of thing. You just got to deal with it when you grow up, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it takes more effort, especially since you have so many more distractions in your life and so many more responsibilities and all this kind of thing. And your knowledge has gotten, not just your knowledge, but your just general experience and views of the world have been tainted and stuff, making your glass bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, whereas, you know, you're still getting a drop of water and you're like, it's not enough.
It's not filling the glass,
yeah, you know. So, I mean, and that, it asks all these questions within the first, like, 5 minutes of the movie. So I don't, like, you know, what's up with that?
And I love, too, that fucking George Carlin is in this movie as well.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. And then the fact that he's playing like a Cardinal Glick is perfect. It's like there's a little speech at the beginning where he's talking about redoing like Catholicism and brings out that Buddy Christ.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious every time. I fucking love it.
Mm-hmm. One of the few religious icons that I own is a Buddy Christ.
Oh, yeah, I know. I saw one once at the Silver Snail like a couple years ago, and I passed on it. Then I came back and it was gone, and I haven't seen it since. I was like, "Fuck! I should have bought it, but I didn't."
Yeah, no, I got that maybe like very early on, like maybe 2000 or so.
Oh, nice.
I was still regularly going to comic book stores and picking up stuff, and there it was, and I was like, done. And then apparently later on, I found out that like this was like an item that people can't find. I was like, it is.
Oh, really? Well,
I just walked into the store and picked one up. I don't know.
I know. As I said, I randomly saw it there one time and was like, "Oh, I'll get it next time," and then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just like, I love this little thing. After he takes the thing off, he's like, "Doesn't it just pop?"
Yeah.
It just cracks. I fucking love George Carlin so much. He's the best.
But the thing is that he was like a complete atheist. Like, he just made fun of religion.
Yeah.
He thought it was stupid. There is no God, blah, blah, blah. And
so
here he is playing a cardinal. Which
so I think that's probably why he took the movie, is because he thought it was fucking hilarious that he's playing a cardinal sort of thing. So which it was, because what other movie would you see George Clooney playing a fucking cardinal?
Well, I mean, the cardinal fully like embodies everything that he thinks is wrong with religion in the first place. So I mean, you know, the guy was pompous and ridiculous. It was more about, you know, making money and being popular than you know, spreading religion. And then he was just so obsessed with himself. Like, the whole thing about he's such a dick that he would bless his own clubs. That's how he at the end, right? And you're like, that comes all the way full circle. And him being dickish kind of saves the day, but at the same time, you're just like, holy shit. You know?
Yeah, in that sort of position, you kind of could breed that really easily, I think, if gone wrong.
So now, I know you're like a big Kevin Smith fan and you love all his stuff, but did you read the comic book Chasing Dogma?
Oh, that was one of the ones I haven't gotten yet. I've been trying to. Yeah, I think I have the Clerks one, and like the missing scene, and the Yoga Hosers one, but I haven't gotten the Chasing Dogma yet.
I don't have any of those. I have Chasing Dogma.
Oh, there we go. We can do a little trade up sometime.
Exactly. I'd have to go find it. I don't have it here because it was one of those things I bought years and years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
It's probably in my mom's place where I store all of my. Well, quite a bit of my geeky stuff.
Yeah.
She keeps trying to get me to sell it, and I'm like, no, I love it. Don't touch it. But I remember having to hunt down a copy of Chasing Dogma when I found out about it, because it tells a story between chasing Amy and Dogma.
Yeah, kind of like how Jay and Silent Bob went from one to the other sort of thing, I think.
It does, yeah. And actually, so when Bethany asked, like, what you guys are doing here, and he's going on about, you know, Sherman, Illinois, and all that kind of stuff. But that's what the comic book's all about. Like, it's, you know, he starts off, what's the girl from Mallrats who's writing the sex book who's underage? I didn't look it up. But it starts...
I'm trying to remember what name is, and it's bothering me that I can't think of it. but go ahead. Sorry.
But it starts at her house, and they go to the mall. They see, I believe it's Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles on the screen, and the tubby fat man starts to cry, and they talk about going there, and that's what they do. And
it'd be 16 Candles. No, I think it is. You said one or the other, and it is 16 Candles.
16 Candles, right?
Because I think that it's this movie that they talk about. Like later on in the movie.
Yeah. So they go from there, and it's their trip to try to get to Sherman, Illinois, and literally the last page is what's going on over there, and they walk over, and it starts at that scene in Dogma, right?
And there's only one small flaw in Jay's thing with why they're there is because, you know, they want to pick up chicks, but it's nighttime, so like the only chick there is the one that's working there. So that
I'm pretty sure there. I don't remember it like verbatim, but I'm pretty sure there's probably something in the comic book that explains that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that again because I was thinking about that when I was watching it yesterday. I was like, his thinking for the idea of them being there works, but it's nighttime. So I was like,
yeah, but it's nighttime, but she's there because she's just locking up the clinic, right?
So I'm like, so it could be like, you know, during the winter and it gets dark like 4:00 or whatever. Like,
yeah, it could be kind of early
so I guess so that was so with that scene I was like, that kind of doesn't make sense. But
I feel horrible that we're justifying why Jay was there to pick up like chicks at a women's clinic.
That's the thing that makes sense in this scene.
You're like, no. We need answer to these questions. I don't care where the evil triplets come from. I don't care how she's like the descendant of Christ. I don't care anything. But like, why they're in a parking lot in the middle of the night at a women's clinic to pick up chicks? You can't pick up chicks at a women's clinic at night. It's closed. It's apparently that's our real problem with this movie.
That's the thing I'm hung up on. Yeah.
It's nothing about muses or shit monsters or anything like that.
Oh my god!
I know. And speaking of Gold Gotham, there was today. There was, or we want to watch it yesterday. Was the first time when when he came up, I actually understood what he said when he first came up. He's like,
Yeah.
not born, shit into existence. I'm like, that was the first time I actually understood what he said. I'm like, how did I not pick that up before?
I did not actually understand that. Okay, good. No.
So yeah.
I know he says words.
Yeah. So okay. So it wasn't me. So I was just watching it. Yeah, right. Because I had the DVD of it, so I put it on, and I was like, I actually heard words this time. That's weird.
Yeah, that's so there was this song, I can hear it in my head. Oh my god. What is that song called? But anyway, so there's a part of the song that I always thought was just kind of gibberish, like ba-da, 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 ba-da. But it's actually whatever bubbles up. And it took me 15 years to realize that. And I heard that song constantly. It was ridiculous. And when I finally heard it, I'm like, he's saying words.
Yeah, one of those misheard lyrics that you sing for years and then you sing out loud with somebody else and they're like, that's not the words. Yeah, I've had that. I've had that with one of the live songs. I was singing it with one girlfriend and they're like, that's not
it's sorry, I found it. It's Lucas with the lid off. Yeah, it's you know the one that goes, whatever bubbles up, I feel. What is it? Come follow me. I don't know. The thing is, all that part I always thought was just, except for gibberish. The I feel, I thought it was gibberish.
Kind of like Jonathan Davis gibberish and Korn.
Yeah, and then one day I realized, I'm like, no, he's saying words. It's not just I feel. He's saying words around it too.
It's like, how did I not hear this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's so random. I had to actually pause it for a second. I'm like, how did I not hear that before?
Is that what I heard? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I actually turned it back. Then I was like, okay, I'm actually not hearing things. I am hearing things, but the correct things. and then too, after George Carlin, they goes to the Matt Damon talking to the nun, and it's just he's just fucking with her the whole time.
Yeah.
There's the Wallers of the Carpenter, and the Carpenter's
they're luring clams in to eat them.
Yeah, and then they're the clams were parishioners, and then you were saying all the different things were the different religions, and they just totally fucked with the nun, and she's like, yeah, just go and find a guy or a girl. It doesn't really matter. Just find somebody and go have a fun time in Vegas for the weekend. She's like, all right. And then Bartleby's Ben Affleck Bartleby's. It's like, you know God. You've talked to him personally in the same room. What are you fucking with nuns for? He's like, oh, it's fun. Why not?
Why not? Exactly, right? Things like that is one of the reasons why I think flat earthers are not real. I think they're just people who are having a good time fucking with people. They're I'm going to prove to you, I know we know the world is round, but I'm going to prove to people that it's flat and make them believe it. Let's do this.
I actually, now that with looking at it that way, I kind of wish that was real just because it would be fucking hilarious. And one day it'd be like, we were fucking with you the whole time. But I'm like, okay, good.
But when you make statements like, oh, we have followers around the globe, and you're talking about Earth, my question is there's no way for me to trace if that tweet is real, right? I don't know.
But of course, though, too, it's like me saying oh God, but I'm an atheist, though, too. So it's around the globe is kind of a saying, though. But granted, you're not really realizing what you're saying, but it's kind of funny.
People still say don't touch that dial. When was the last time there was a dial on a TV or a radio?
Exactly. Yeah. So it is a funny saying that people say that, but it as I said, it's more a saying than being serious sort of thing. Yeah, but it is funny nonetheless, I guess.
Yeah. One of the things is too is that this movie, when Rufus is there and he's talking about it's a combination of Rufus and Metatron when they talk about how Jesus disappeared from 12 to 33 in the Bible. It
took him 30 years to come to grips with
it. So that automatically reminded me of the writer Michael Moore. He wrote a book called Lamb, which is also considered to be controversial because it's based on the same thing. It's a memoir of the Jesus's best friend Biff, and it takes place between that time period where he's not in the Bible anymore. It's not Biff Tannen. His name's just Biff.
That's not.
And no, but it's a really, really great book. It's just well written. The characters are kind of awesome. Like, I know it's Jesus and stuff, but Biff is great. Mary Magdalene's in there. You know, there's a whole bunch of like random things, and it's just really about, you know, how Jesus came to terms with who he was and all that kind of stuff, and him going through different places in the world and just meeting different types of religious leaders and coming in contact with different types of people. And also he gets Biff to do really dirty things for him and describe it to him because he can't do it. Which is just like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I'm not, yeah, okay. I just went somewhere. I'm not going to say that. But the whole thing, I love the fact that Jesus is hanging out with a guy named Biff. That's
and that's the thing that's really funny about it. You're just like, Jesus knew a guy named Biff? What are you talking about?
I like to think that's probably why he named it Biff, just to lighten it a bit, just for people like me to be like, I want to hear about Jesus hanging with Biff, so why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not, right?
Exactly. I actually want to read this book now just for that sole purpose.
It's such a good book, but like as I said, like, I'm not a religious person, but I do have an interest in religion and lore and mythology. Like, I find all of these things kind of go together. So, like, I've always taken religion classes and found out about other religions and all this kind of stuff. So, like, movies like this and books like that, I just find it really interesting when people can find the satire and actually put, like, a really good meaning on all of it that is not so, you know, authoritarian about it. You know what I mean? Like, none of this says you're going to hell, but this is what religion is supposed to be. And it's ruined by people because people are fallible. And you're like, I get it. Okay, I see what you mean. You know, like, and so I'm like, I understand why people think this would be a good thing in theory. I mean, in theory, communism's a good thing, but it's really not, you know, you know? So it's stuff like that. But yeah, I do recommend that book by Christopher Moore Lamb. It's a good one.
I'll have to check that out later. Because I said I'm sold on the fact that he's hanging out with Biff.
Yeah, if you like the humor that's in Dogma, there's quite a bit less cussing in his book, but there is cussing. But it's the same level of humor. That kind of like cheeky, fun, weird. You're just like, is this religious? This is weird, you know?
Right.
That kind of thing.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'd give that a shot. But yeah, I kept thinking about that. I'm like, insert the whole book of Lamb in there, and then come back to the movie Dogma. That's all I kept thinking.
Yeah, and then speaking of Metatron, I like the fact when he shows up in that Bethany's room and she like hits him with the fire extinguisher and then changes the bat into a fish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a modern individual, that's exactly what I'd have. Like, something's on fire in my house.
They're like, what the fuck? Like, what? Yeah, if you had a fire extinguisher, that's exactly what you do. Go grab it and put it out. Yeah, exactly. and then it's his fault for fucking being on fire. Then he gets pissed for getting fire extinguished. Like,
well, I mean, back in the day, as in, like, you know, in Bible days and stuff, like, he was like the burning bush, for example. The first time he showed up would have been on fire. So, but
yeah, you gotta read the room a little bit. I think
you gotta roll with the times.
And just a little bit. Show up with a booming voice first, and then show up, but don't be on fire.
Yeah. But I mean, but also just like a man appearing in her bedroom is also kind of creepy.
Oh yeah. That in itself is creepy as hell. But at least like take that out and just take it out. Take in the movie sense. Yeah, just be the creepy voice, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then he shows up with the rings.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Does it though? Like in modern times, no matter which way you do that scene, he's gonna come across as creepy when you. But
like at this point, like in like what was it, like 96 8, I think, when they're 89. Like,
99.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
him being on fire makes no sense either. So like,
Yeah.
so I guess either way, tomato, I guess.
Yeah. Either way, he's going to get something thrown at him when he appears.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Whether it's the extinguisher or the bat or something.
Or like the lamp or whatever. There. Just like, what?
Yeah, he was going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and then the whole thing, I like that. I like how the thing, he's like, what are you going to do? Hit me with that fish? And then he's like, what the fuck? That gets me every time, too, because I fucking love Alan Rickman.
He's so good. He's so good.
I know. I kind of want to watch the Harry Potter movies just for him, but with what her being a dick the last little while, I kind of don't want to give her the attention. So
the attention, yes, I agree.
So I think at this point I've seen like 1.5 Harry Potter movies, and I haven't got past like the halfway mark in the second one so far.
I think I've seen like in total I've seen like 2 whole Harry Potter movies. Yeah. I have seen very small pieces of every other movie. Yeah. And every time I look at them, I'm just like, why are these popular? Yeah. I don't understand why people like this. It makes no sense to me.
I think if I was like the age range when like what they were when they came out, the movies came out, I probably would have liked it, but I was like,
no, I don't think I don't believe that's a thing, because like the Harry Potter books themselves, even before the movie came out, were very popular with like older individuals. They got into it.
Yeah, well, I was never a reader either, so I never got. I only knew there were books after that. Like they were saying, like, "Hey, they're movies," sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe because there's a very good chance. What my problem is that these books got really popular while I was working in a bookstore.
Oh, so you had to deal with that.
I had to deal with it, and I know right now we actually have a name for it. It's called a Karen. We got tons of those in the bookstore. Be like, what do you mean you're sold out? Can I speak to your manager? Blah, 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 blah. Or we'd have like, when her 5th book came out, we had like a midnight opening thing.
Yeah.
And people got to come in and stuff. And we had like this crate thing set up. We had like stuff going on in the store, which was fine. I had no problem with that part, right? And they're like, but the thing is, every 3 minutes you get a mother or something come up to me, go like, excuse me? I have to wait till midnight? Why can't I get it now? I'm like, for legal purposes, we cannot sell it before midnight.
Yeah,
we'd have signs around. It was in like the post talk, like all of the media we put out was just like, at midnight, you can be one of the first people to get your book, blah, 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 blah. And they're showing up at like 8:30 the day of, and you're just like, nope, you gotta wait till midnight. We can't sell it to you. Nope. That's just how it is. You know,
we're getting screwed over if we sell it to you right now.
Yeah, like and it was and I think maybe that might have been part of it. Like I know that might have been one of the reasons why I never got into reading it. But when I saw the first movie, my friends talked me into seeing the first movie. They watched it. They were like, "Oh my god, it's just like the book." And then I watched the first movie, and the first movie is shit. It's just a bad movie. They badly introduced their characters. It's a really choppy story. The acting is horrible. There's nothing good in that first movie. And I'm like, if this movie is just like the book, why the fuck are people so into those books?
and I can't handle like a total movie that's like all about kids. If there's like kids in the movie, it's okay. But if it's like all a kids movie, I'm like, I'm out. So I think that maybe.
No, I don't think that's what my problem is with it.
I think that was probably part of it. So probably not.
It just didn't appeal to you at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think I saw in the theater with a girlfriend at the time, and I'm like,
no. My thing is as long as your story is structured well and your movie is well done, it doesn't even have to be high production value. It just has to be well done.
Yeah,
I will be good with whatever it is. But nothing about that first movie made me anywhere near more interested in the world of Harry Potter.
Exactly, yeah. So I saw like whenever that came out, so that was like what 2001-ish, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
And I think last year, like within the last year, my friend was like, "Hey, you want to see the second one?" And like he 3 different occasions he tried to watch. I think I made it through halfway through, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So it's like what 20 years difference, and it took me like to get from the first to the second one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even finish the second one.
Yeah. And that's also the reason why I saw the fourth movie as well, because finally my friends talked me into, like, come on, the fourth movie's coming out. Let's go see it. I was like, fine, whatever. Maybe they're better by now. And then I watched it. I was like, this is still shit. What's wrong with you people? And then the most recent ones came out, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
And so I actually saw the ads for it. I was like, okay, so this is before Harry Potter. It's sort of an introduction to the world. Oh, maybe I might get into it. And the ads made it look really good and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm actually excited. My friends are trying to talk me into watching this. I will watch this movie. And then I watched it and I was like, this sucks. And so, yeah, it's nothing is working with the Harry Potter world.
Yeah. The Fantastic Beasts movies had zero interest for me. Yeah, so I was like,
they were. Yeah. So I mean, like people can't tell me I haven't tried.
Yeah.
I have tried. I know friends who are Potterheads. They're like really into all of it. I'm a Muggle, sure, if you want to call me it, or if I went to England, I'd be a nomad. I know some terminology. I don't know what my Horcruxes are. Fine. But yeah, no, it's not working.
Obviously, you know more than I do. I have no idea what you're talking about. I know those words, but I don't know what they mean.
Well, this is what happens when I have 10 friends who are really into Harry Potter, but I can't make a single X-Files reference without them looking at me like I'm a psycho. So whatever.
Lame.
Yes, agreed. Now, funny thing, bring up the X-Files. I found out that Gillian Anderson was considered for Bethany.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would have been down for that,
yeah. I was reading the IMDb trivia stuff. Yeah, and apparently she was at the top of their list. One of the the first people they were like, no, we should get her to do it. I don't know why she didn't. They didn't say, but yeah.
Well, she could have been busier because I know he's a big Kevin Smith is a big X-Files fan, so he probably was like, hey, why not, sort of thing.
Why not?
Yeah, and I know there, and then plus two with the whole Bethany thing. There was that whole thing with the Fiorentino or whatever her name is.
Yes.
Because in the Junkins and stuff, after they did the movie and stuff when it was coming out, he was saying just in passing that he initially was writing it for Alanis Morissette.
Mm-hmm.
But she was it was either she couldn't do the entire thing was okay, I can't do it because I'm not an actual actor.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the two, I can't remember. So
apparently, so I was reading that too. Apparently, she was on her world tour.
So there was something, and so she couldn't do it for whatever reason. And so they went with Linda Fiorentino, and she was great at it. But he just said I was initially thinking of her.
Mm-hmm.
But we went with her instead, and then she heard that, but took it they didn't want her or something like that. So she kind of got pissed for a minute or whatever. And it just took it the wrong way or something.
Yeah.
So she was all angry with him for a minute because she's he didn't want me or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean that happens with lots of movies.
He wasn't saying she sucks or anything. But he was just I initially had her, but they went with that instead. So then that was it. But she. Took it that from what I heard, she just kind of took it the wrong way and got kind of pissed for whatever reason.
Yeah, apparently, Kevin Smith had said that she was difficult on set and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
but
that I didn't hear. No, sorry.
But after he had his heart attack a couple of years ago, what had happened was a bunch of people he hadn't talked to in forever. Decided to call him, check up on him, oh, I heard you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she was one of the people who called, and he apologized to her about it for talking bad about her and calling her difficult and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? He's being the bigger man at that point in time.
Okay, I didn't hear about that part.
Yeah.
So it definitely works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and actually, one of the things too with this is one of the movies I actually remember seeing on Entertainment Tonight way back in the day when it was a thing before the internet is really the thing it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was talking about him being the director and the actor and stuff, and I was at the time I'm you can do that, you can do both. Not because I didn't really know much about the behind the scenes stuff or whatever, so I was oh, that's kind of cool that he's doing both sort of thing, and I was just kind of putting together that it was like he was the same characters from the movies, and before I really became a big Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah.
And I always remember that the fact that I actually remember seeing on Entertainment Tonight back when it was a big thing.
Well, I mean, that was a relatively rare thing back in the day. I mean, who did it? Like Woody Allen and Spike Lee and Kevin Smith and Tarantino, maybe.
Yeah, and I was going to say Ocean Rolls, but that's not right. Alfred Hitchcock, I think, would show up in a movie or two or something like that, or have like a weird cameo or something, maybe, I think.
Yeah, but not in all of his movies.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So so it wouldn't be as much as like being like one of the stars in your movie sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, all the people that I mentioned, it's very rare that they don't like the movies they're not in that they directed compared to the movies that they are in. It's like 12-1, you know, like it's a very big ratio, like differing ratio. And but like even like before Woody Allen, like I can't even really think of anybody who directed and starred in their movies.
Yeah.
Now I think about it, yeah, because Woody Allen was what, the 70s? Who would I like? Maybe Albert Brooks. Did he actually show up in his own movies?
I don't know much about him, so I really can't say either way. So
yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'll probably look that up after, because I'm like, you know, because he would have been around before that, and he's just friggin' hilarious.
That always sticked out in my head. That actually that was one of the few clips from Entertainment Tonight that I remember is Dogma for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, because now like that's a pretty regular thing for a director to make like a cameo in their film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're like, all right.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, why not? You're making a whole thing. People should know what you look like.
Or like, I'm making a movie. Why not put myself in it? Why not?
Exactly.
Like, I'm running this stuff. I can put myself in a movie. That's fine.
But that's like how they used to save money by, you know, getting like, gaffers and like PAs and stuff. Be like, just be in the background of the scene. Just do it. Just do it.
Or what he just did for Clerks. Like I think like Walt Flanagan and his mom played like 3 or 4 different roles, and I think Walt plays like 5 different people. Like his mom plays like 2 or 3. His sister is in the movie.
Wait, doesn't Walt and what's the big guy with the beard?
It was Scott Mosier.
They're like the protesters or something, aren't they?
Brian Johnson. Yeah, before he gets a beard. Yeah, the protesters, whatever. Yeah, too. Like he always throws his 2 friends in the movies. Yeah, because they were in Mallrats too. When Brody goes up to find out that Stan Lee's there, and he's like, "You tell him, Steve Dave." So they always throw them into.
Yeah. The funny thing is Mallrats is my favorite Kevin Smith movie, and it's the one in my collection that's going to take the longest to get to. It's so sad.
It's way down the list. Yeah. So like,
I'm going to do Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back before I hit that. I mean, come on.
Do you have Strike Back?
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Well, we'll talk about that.
That's in the J's. That's not for a while. We're in the D's. You got a while to wait.
That was the first movie of his I actually saw in the theater.
Wow. Yeah. Wait. Actually, that may have been the first one I saw in the theater. No, I saw Dogma in the theater.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like my family rented movies all the time, so I had seen the other ones, but that Jay and Bob was the first one I saw in the theater, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a full memory of watching Mallrats the first time, like complete memory. I know who I saw it with, you know, where we rented it from, whose house we watched it at. Like, it's just like one of those like perfect whole memories that I hold on to because it was a good day.
Whose house?
Run's house.
Say what? I think I'm fairly certain I didn't hear the song before that movie, so I every time I say that, it's because of this movie, not the song.
Not the actual song, exactly. Yeah.
I think of Matt Damon like outside the bus, like say what? Just like and because I'm a deep voice, I say really high just because it's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's how you're supposed to say it. It's all good.
You can't not say it that way.
Mm-hmm. But I must admit, I really do enjoy Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together on screen. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, they play off each other so perfectly.
Yeah, and I think their whole back and forth, like when he's telling them about the thing, he's like, "Stop leering at me. It looks like I just like broke up with you or something."
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Sorry. So, again, reading through the trivia, which is two things I did not put together before, but I really should have since I'm both a fan of this movie and the Marvel Universe. So, Matt Damon in this movie plays Loki, right?
Yeah.
And in Thor Ragnarok, when Thor goes home, Matt Damon is, in the play playing Loki. And I was like, wait, is this like a 20-year joke? Like, what is this?
And did you catch who the other person was who was playing opposite him in the play? Was the other his other Hemsworth brother. The other
Hemsworth brother. Yeah.
Which is from Westworld, the one that's in Westworld.
Yes, I did know that. Yes,
the less famous Hemsworth.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
It's
Liam and Chris and the other guy, and I really feel bad for the other guy.
Yeah, I know. He's really good in Westworld. He's like great, but I always forget what his name is. He's like the other Hemsworth.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in Westworld. A, B, it's probably because I don't watch Westworld. So
I only saw like the first season, and then I thought I watched like 2 episodes of the second one. I'm like, I'm done.
I couldn't get through the first season. I tried.
I can definitely get it. Yeah, that's why I think I might have forced myself to get through the first season. To be like, get on the second. I'm like, I'm done.
I think I watched the first 3 episodes, and then I watched parts of, like, every once in a while I'm like, oh, I should try. I watched like 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck you, and I change the channel. And then I watched, like, my friends were like, you have to watch the finale, and I'm like, and I watched the finale, and I was like, I hate every minute of this. Like, I hate you. Like, this is the worst. Like, just take me to the dentist and pull all my teeth. Like, this is not fun for me. So it's fine. So we're talking about haters for talking about religion. We're gonna get haters for talking bad about Westworld.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
So much trouble.
So what else can you go after today?
Let's see. Oh, white people only want to hear good shit. There you go. I said it. I know that line because I literally put it in my notes, and I put under it, based on what's going on today, this is still very true. So it's fine. It's totally fine. And actually, speaking of political things, so there's also the women's right movement, or, women's equality movement. Yeah. But the scene where they're in the movie office and they're with all the executives and there's one woman, right? Yeah. And one thing that Loki says, no, not Loki. Is it Loki who says this? Or is it...
where he's going, Bartleby, who's actually going through all the people?
Yeah. Maybe like, Bartleby says it. No, but one of the lines they said is, do you know what makes a human being decent? Fear, right? And the thing is, that whole room is filled with men, except for that one woman who they say is innocent. Because she is the only person in the room with fear, because she's an executive in a boardroom with men, and she is probably fearful for her job, for her life on a very regular basis, right? And that is the only reason why she gets out of that room alive.
It's because she was a good person. So like everyone else did bad things, and she was a good person. So
it's probably because of fear, because she is a woman in our society.
Yeah. Okay. I guess. Okay. I see what you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
You see what I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah. It took me a second, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you're totally right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So another controversial statement. There you go.
Yeah, I got you. And too, like I always wonder, like when he gets to like the last guy, like he just kind of whispers in his ear. But I always kind of want to know what he did, but also just with what Matt Damon said, I also don't, because he's like, he was your own son. I'm like, I changed my mind. I don't want to hear what he said.
What do you mean?
Because he's always going with that through everyone else. He says like what they did, and he gets to like the main guy at the head of the table. He just kind of whispers in his ear what
yeah.
And then Matt Damon's like, he was your own son, you sick fuck, or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
I changed my mind. I don't want to hear what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I do not want to know about that either. It's true.
No. Yeah, because that other stuff was bad, but at least he said it. I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two, like he always think of Ben Affleck. They go to leave. He's like, but I do believe in this, and he starts shooting people. And then it goes to Ben Affleck. He's like, I do believe in this. What does it even mean? It's like reading the magazine as he's shooting people.
Yeah.
Like in the trailer, I always thought that was hilarious. He's like, what does it even mean? Just as he's reading the magazine as he's shooting people.
Yeah. I actually really love that scene. I think it's such a like well constructed scene with like, you know, like especially the main guy, like the CEO, whatever, who walks in all tough and stuff, and he's like, he has no fear, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Get out of our thing or whatever. And then they just take control of the room, and you're just like, oh my god, you can see the power dynamic change all of a sudden. And especially when he says the whole thing about the voodoo doll and the thing, and he like crushes Youngin, and they freak out about it, like, oh, like seriously. It's an onion, guys.
Yeah, that always makes you laugh. It's like a hand goes like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And they're like, ah! Squishes it, and they all freak out.
Mm-hmm. And then he leaves, and you're like, and they're all just like, oh, and he comes back in and just shoots everybody in the face. It's amazing.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. I assume he shot them in the face.
Or just enough times, because I think he spends a good like 3-4 minutes. He's like, don't run. He's like, who's running? Because I don't think anybody in that room looks like a runner. I don't think.
No, I mean they're gonna try to escape.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're gonna get very far.
No, definitely not. Yeah. And plus too, like I think right before they got there, it's like that scene in the gun shop or whatever, and they're talking about the guns. He's like, nothing strikes fear like a flaming sword anymore.
Yeah.
that always makes me laugh too. And then it's also Randall from Clerks. That's the clerk as well.
Yes, yeah. Because he's the that's him. And then Dante is the reporter.
Yeah. You see him at the beginning and with Cardinal. Then later on when they turn on the TV at the bar, he's like freaking out because of when the two angels showed up and started killing people. He's like freaking out on the TV.
Yeah.
When they do the holy bartender joke at the end. Which I always laugh at every so often. Where like Azrael is like, just make me one more drink before I go. He's like, okay. He's like, all right, make me a holy bartender. And he shoots him. And like Jay, like 5 minutes later, gets it.
He's like, holy bartender. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. We're like, what the fuck are you doing, my dude? We're in a serious moment right now.
So good. Yeah. One of the other things that I was like, what is even happening in this movie? Was when, this may seem really stupid, but it had my brain running for a while. Where Serendipity says, I'm responsible for 19 of the 20 top grossing movies of all time. Now, this was in 1999, but she mentions not the one with the kid who's home and, like, whatever. So that's Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like, what were the top grossing movies in 1990, like, before 1999? And I'm assuming, like, Star Wars was one of them and whatever. But at the same, like,
Park, maybe.
Yeah, like, but everything I'm finding, like, I don't know how to search specifically that.
Yeah, because everything you search would probably show for like now money, and so it's like
or just for 1999.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it'd be like beforehand, like yeah. So I would be curious in what movie she was referencing. Yeah,
but also it amazes me what the top grossing movies of 1999 were.
they were okay. Like, and there are like some shit on this list, but there's also some real great stuff on this list.
What else came out?
So in 1999, the highest grossing films of that year is Star Wars Episode 1. That's number 1 on the list. Yeah. Followed by The Sixth Sense, Toy Story 2, The Matrix. I'm surprised The Matrix is that low on the list by how popular it is now. But I mean, at the time, people were just like, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's cool.
Actually, but I think so far that was the one movie I did see in the theater of the ones you've said so far. Actually, no, I did see Phantom Menace. So Phantom Menace and Matrix I did see.
I did not see Toy Story 2, but I saw the other ones.
I saw it when it hit video. Yeah.
Then there was Tarzan, The Mummy, Notting Hill, The World Is Not Enough, American Beauty, and The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Which Tarzan is it? The animated one or the Casper Van Dien shitty one?
It says it's Disney. I'm assuming it's the animated one.
Yeah, so part of the Phil Collins scored one or whatever.
Yes. So out of that list, the only 3 I did not see in theaters: Toy Story 2, Tarzan, and Notting Hill. Everything else I saw in theaters.
Yeah, I only saw Matrix and Phantom Menace.
Yes, because that's so good. Yeah. Best film of the year was American Beauty. Best musical comedy was Toy Story 2. Interesting.
It was considered a comedy, I guess.
Toy Story 2, yeah. Musical and comedy? Because
it's definitely not musical, yeah. So.
Yeah. Wait, that's Golden Globes. Where's the Academy Awards? Where are you? There you are. Well, Sam Mendes, American Beauty won all of the categories. Yeah, won for Academy Award for Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor. Hilary Swank won for Boys Don't Cry. Oh, that was 1999 as well. Well, technically that would be 19. Yeah, that's correct. Michael Caine for Cider House Rules. Oh, that was the year Jolie won for Girl Interrupted for supporting actress.
Oh, yeah.
Screenplay, Cider House Rule. Alan Ball wrote the screenplay for American Beauty. That makes so much sense. I did not know that. He's the guy. He's the guy who created like 6 Feet Under and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay,
that's
how I guess.
I'm pretty sure he also did the TV show. Yeah, he did True Blood as well. Yeah, that's pretty much his mentality. So
okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Red Violin won for Best Score. Best Song was from Tarzan, You'll Be in My Heart. I don't even know what song it is.
It's probably a Phil Collins song,
yeah. And Best Foreign Film was All About My Mother.
Don't know that.
My goodness.
That doesn't ring a bell at all.
I'm horrible with foreign films, I must admit. I really should watch more of them, get a different feel for a different style of storytelling and different stories in general. Yeah. But my problem is I always just don't know where to start because I don't see anything about them. And people are just like, just watch this random thing that I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not really accessible, so I can't really know what's good and what to check out, sort of thing.
Yeah. Also, finding it, like you said,
true.
Finding it as well is really difficult.
Exactly.
So. Yeah. But I'll get around to watching foreign things. It's not like I haven't. I've seen them, some stuff. Don't ask me to name any of them. Don't call me a liar. It's fine.
Don't ask me on this stuff right now.
Exactly. Anyways, I got off topic. Dogma. Yes, that's what we were talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then too, the one bad thing is with Alan Rickman is that the wings kind of fucked up his back for a bit, so I always felt bad that I hear about that though. But,
really?
Because it was a combo of mechanical and CG and stuff. So when he showed up in Bethany's room, in the one part where he actually encased them, you can tell that they're actually Ottoman. Yeah, I guess that was the thing that they fucked up his back for a good 6 months after, because they were obviously real heavy. Had to move and all this stuff. Yeah.
So back again to the stuff I was reading on IMDb. So apparently, when Kevin Smith. So one of the reasons why Alan Rickman got involved in this movie is that Kevin Smith found out that Alan Rickman was a big fan of Chasing Amy. He was a fan of the movie.
Yeah.
And so then they decided, they were just like, oh, he would be good for playing Metatron. And so they sent him the script to read, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, when he got the script, he asked them 2 questions. And I'm assuming it was to make sure like the integrity of this film was going to stay the way it was. But the first question was, would they stay faithful to the script? And then the second question was, were the wings real or CGI? Now, I'm assuming both of these things were, yes, we're going to stay faithful to the script, and the wings were real. That was what won him over to the movie. But at the same time, if the wings fucked up his back, maybe he was actually looking for the wings to be CGI.
Or meant like realize that you're actually going to show them, or actually realize them physically real. Yeah. So, but yes, yeah, I think it was like a combo of CG at one point, because obviously like later on when Ben and Matt are flying around, it's their fake wings and stuff, and
yes,
I think he encases them a second time later on in the movie, I think, and I think they're fake. I think at that point they were fake, but I think later on in the scene when they got bigger, they're fake. But I think when they're close-up shot, or they're actually like, you can tell they're real. I think. Yeah,
because I think the part where oh my god, Ben Affleck's what's his name? Bartleby. Yeah. Where he's like around the church and dropping things. It's clear that that's all CGI, and he's like flying downwards in front of the church. It's CGI. Then they zoom in, and you see his wings, and they're real. Yeah. And then they zoom back out, and you're like, that's CGI.
And then the part when Jay does like count the shells, suck a duck, and shoots them, and then he just kind of puts them up. Yeah, they look.
Yeah. However, well, I'm assuming they just put squiddies on it and they have like blood packets on it. But however they did that, where the wings are like flying apart and all the blood coming off it and all the feathers flying and stuff, was just masterfully done. Actually,
yeah, it was really. I really like that the physical props or whatever on that one. Yeah, really, definitely,
they were really well done. One thing I also want to bring up, so there's a great part in it where, the part where they're on the train and Silent Bob throws Bartleby and Loki off the train, and the guy's in the corner, he's all freaked out and stuff.
And, no ticket.
Yeah.
Which is obviously like a Indiana Jones reference when where it was the third one where they throw the guy out, the Nazis off the blimp
in the Last Crusade, yes, and everybody pulls out their ticket. They're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I thoroughly forgot that line was in there, and I laughed just so hard. I was just like, that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Because he takes a second too, because he just kind of like, you see the guy cowering in the corner, and this kind of side Bob just kind of walks up. He's like, oh.
He looks out the door. He looks at the guy. He looks out the door. Looks back at the guy.
He's like,
no tickets. And he does like the action and everything, and I'm like, oh, beautiful. Yeah, that's a proper placement, right?
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, if there's only going to say 2 words in the movie, I'm glad it's that.
Yeah, like he didn't have to say anything else. I would have been okay with all of it. Oh my god! I'm so happy this movie just aged so well. Like, I'm so happy. But also, I think maybe it aged well because it was already kind of on the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because as I think last time we talked about, like, Chasing Amy didn't really age too well, and that was like, what, 95, 96? But this is like 99, so it was kind of, I guess, in the start of the next gen of movies, I guess, or whatever. So it kind of, so it kind of worked,
but apparently the first draft of this movie he actually wrote before he wrote Clerks.
Yeah, I think I remember something about but at least, because you started with this one, I don't think it probably would have worked as well, but.
Well, no, because he put apparently he put it aside because he's like, no, I want the right people and the right budget to be able to make this, or else there's no point making it. And it's true. Like, if he had the kind of budget he had for Clerks to make that movie, it would have been garbage. It wouldn't have worked the way Clerks worked.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's I'm glad it worked out that way.
Mm-hmm. And of course, like, he did rewrites after, because when you actually make a movie, make a script, you understand how it works. He's just like, no, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. He rewrote some stuff, and I think they said something like there were 6 different scripts for the movie or something. That he went like 6 different versions of the movie that he did.
And then this is the last one they ended on. So, and apparently, like, it's quite faithful to the final script that he wrote, with very little ad libs from like the actors and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he always said that he tries to get in there. That Ben Affleck always tries to ad lib, but they always suck. So he's like, just fucking read the script.
I mean, it's in there.
I know. I always find that funny that every time something comes up with ad libbing, he always tries to get in there. That Ben Affleck sucks at ad libbing sometimes.
Yeah.
And that always makes me think of like Batman vs Superman, where he runs into Wonder Woman for the first time at the party, and then she follows her downstairs, and then he's like later on, he's like, she's leaving, she's like, oh yeah, nice shoes. He's like, yeah, that was 100% Ben. And I was like, hey, I can tell that's him saying that instead of actually being in the script.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I can kind of see that too. Yeah, I think I probably kind of had that thought as well. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So sorry, this actually goes all the way back to the beginning of the movie. I'm really sorry. I said this earlier, but there's the scene in the diner where Bethany first takes Janet, Silent Bob, and they're there, and Jay's being the gross, disgusting person that he is, and she's like, "I'm not gonna fuck you. I'm supposed to go on a journey with you guys." And in that scene, they're playing the music from Dirty Dancing. And I was just like, that's hilarious. Because, like, I was like, that is perfect for this scene because of Jay being who he is. And just, and it combines, like, the sappiness of Silent Bob, Jay being a perv, and her being like, you guys are being inappropriate.
Like no, I need to do this God thing. Like, just calm down.
Yeah.
Let me come with you. All right, so I think it's been so long since I see Dirty Dancing, or I probably would have picked up on that. But yeah,
it's the first time. I mean, I've seen this movie many, many times, but I never picked up on it before. But I was sitting there listening to the music, and I was like, "Wait, is that the song from Dirty Dancing? Oh my God, that's the song from Dirty. That is totally the song from Dirty Dancing."
Is it like the main song at like the end or whatever? Like the main song they're dancing at? Or?
No, it's oh my God, I'm gonna.
Or it's just one of the other.
It's one of the other songs, but it's like it's a popular song. Like it's a song that if you actually pay attention to it and hear it, you will know that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out again.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll post it on the website. Which one it is? Yeah. But yeah, I'm just happy this movie aged well. I like it. Yeah. It thoroughly made me belly laugh properly a couple of times, and I chuckled through the whole thing. It made me miss Alan Rickman. I'm like, oh my God, he's so good.
Exactly. Yeah, I fucking love him so much.
And George Carlin as well. And
Chris Rock is always hilarious.
Yeah, he is, and like he played Rufus really well, and I'm really glad Will Smith didn't get to play Rufus, because Rufus, like, Will Smith doesn't swear, so like, I don't think it would have worked.
No, yeah, I say that, Chris Rock is, you can't go wrong with Chris Rock, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was such their casting ended up being pretty perfect. For
I think so. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Fiorentino, but I think she was good in this role.
Yeah, I mean,
I liked her.
She had just come off of Men in Black. I think,
I think it was like the year before. Yeah, I think a year or two.
And
like a couple of years at most.
Honestly, though, that's literally the only two movies I know her from.
Yeah, I think she's showed up in a couple other things. I'm like, oh yeah, but there's there. Yeah, but I think if I was like, say, like a Fiorentino movie, is these two. Men in Black and Dogma, definitely. Because I think Dogma was one of the last big movies she was in. I think for a while, if not ever. I think so.
Yeah, she's only got like 32 credits, and this one, Dogma, was her 2, 3, 4, 6th to last. Credits.
So probably her last big thing, probably. Then,
yeah. Because everything else on this list, I don't recognize except for Men in Black.
Yeah. We are the Men in Black. Oh, I'm glad that song in my head now.
Galaxy Defenders. Wait, were you like everybody else and actually learned to dance?
No, I can't dance. No, I wish I could have, but that wouldn't have worked at all.
If you could be like the alien, right? You can bounce with me, just bounce with me.
Yeah, I think that part I could do, but
and just slide and slide. Oh God, I know all of it. Jesus, Tracy, stop! My God.
Yeah, we were the perfect age for that movie.
It really was. Oh my God. Anyways, well, so from the greatness that is Dogma to the absolutely horribly aged Domino that I watched it last night, and it just made me so tired. I was just like,
I am Domino Harvey. I am a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Like for like the last couple of weeks when I was thinking about watching the movie, that's the only thing I can think of, because like for the advertisements, they just put that in all the time.
Yeah,
so that's the only
and the heads you live, the tails you die. I'm like, what? Yeah. Are you Two-Face? Like, I don't understand what this is.
Yeah,
like is the Cape Crusader going to show up any second now, and you're going to take him down? Like, I don't. You're
gonna get acid thrown in your face.
Yeah, like, I'm so demented. I must be an evil villain now. I don't know.
I know. I was going into this thinking I was going to hate it, but I did. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I didn't hate
it. Look, hate is a strong word.
Or I did dislike it.
I disliked it. I must admit, I disliked it because it is. Like, it's so one of the things I did, like, I watched this movie and I was like, this movie reminds me of like these 5 other movies. And then I looked at who the director was, and then I looked at his movie list. I'm like, oh, that guy directed all of those other movies that this movie reminds me of.
Like Man and Fire and Deja Vu.
Yeah, which are both Denzel Washington movies for some fucking reason.
And too, like, I think I watched Man and Fire within the last 6-8 months, and I actually liked it. I like the way that for the weirdness of how that movie looks. I actually kind of dig it.
Wait, Domino or
Man on Fire, like the washes or whatever the filter he has on the. On it and stuff, I really, for whatever reason, I really like how that movie looked.
You know what? I absolutely agree with you, because I actually really like the movie Man on Fire.
Yeah.
I really do like that movie quite a bit.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it when it came out, and every so often I'm like thinking about it just because of the weirdness of how it looked. I'm like, I dug it. I think it was either having on a computer or it was on Netflix. I just was like, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, this is a good movie. I like it.
Yeah, but he also directed Enemy of the State, The Taken in Pelham 1, 2, 3, and Unstoppable. Like, these are all movies that look the same almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because you almost think that Taken in Pelham and Unstoppable could have been like the same movie.
Almost, yeah.
Because they're both the train movies. And I think too, I was checking out IMDb too, because I think it was Man and Fire, Domino, and the other movie were like
Deja Vu's after that.
Yeah, we're like 3 years in a row, so he probably did them all back to back. So that's maybe partially why they all look almost the same, or have a lot of the same filters or shots or whatever, because he probably just was probably reusing the same ideas or whatever, maybe. But
yeah, well, I think that's the problem. One of my biggest problems with this movie, it's like it has aged really badly because it has such a specific style to it.
Yeah, the early 2000s style, yeah.
Yeah, and all of those movies were done in exactly the same style, released in exactly the same time period, and you're just like, well, now you've just stuck this movie in a certain point in time. So going forward, you're just going to be like, oh, this is an old movie. Like, it doesn't, there's nothing fresh about it. There's nothing new. There's nothing interesting about the story being told. You're just like, oh, you're just going to be frantic for some reason? Like, fine, whatever. In his notes, he says that one of the frantic nature of it is supposed to represent how much cocaine bounty hunters took, and I'm like, well, explain the rest of your movies. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I think too, like I think Chaco says something about squirrel on meth or something like that too. So that kind of maybe his style of this movie too is just like a squirrel on meth.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I've actually seen that once. He's like, what? Squirrel and meth.
But the funny thing is his movies before Enemy of the State, those stylized were not this excessive.
Yeah, because he also did Top Gun, and that's is a stylized movie, but it's not like these
crazy.
Movies, so,
yeah,
it's like, it's
he did that.
Really,
he did Beverly Hills Cop 2. He did Days of Thunder. I
think 2, the Beverly Hills movie is the one I haven't seen. Because I think I've seen 1, and obviously I've seen 1, and then 3 was on TV so many times. I've randomly saw it. I'm like, this one fucking sucks. But I haven't seen 2 yet for some reason.
The Last Boy Scout is not a good movie. It is. No, it tries to be very stylized as well.
It has a really weird look to it, and I've tried watching it a few times because that's Bruce Willis and Damon. I think it's Damon Wayans. I think it's one of the Wayans brothers. And I think it's one of.
Yeah, Damon Wayans. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Halle Berry's first movie too. I think.
Is it her first? I don't think it's her first movie.
Or maybe her first big movie, maybe, or something.
No, she would have done stuff before that.
Or maybe just the first thing I remember her seeing her in, maybe, I think is what it is. But I've tried seeing that movie a few times.
Yeah, Jungle Fever was her breakout role, and that was 91.
I don't know that movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she did it the same year as The Last Boy Scout, so you're pretty close. Yeah.
Okay, so I try going back because it's Bruce Willis. I'm like, this fucking looks really weird.
Yeah, because I think the first time I remember Halle Berry was from Boomerang, and then I remembered, she was on A Different World, and then I watched a couple of other stuff. So
I think I remember seeing Boomerang, but I think I was too young to really remember what happened. So I don't. Really... It's
a romance. It's nothing.
I saw that may be why I don't remember it then, because probably at the time I saw it, I was like, I'm not interested.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I do remember that I did see it though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, he's done lots of stuff, but there's just this group of movies that he did that are so excessive that you're just like, oh my god, please stop.
Yeah. But kind of as I said, it works for Man and Fire and Deja Vu, but lesser for Domino, I feel, for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never watched Unstoppable or The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, so I can't make mention of it.
Yeah, I think I always one of the movies I've seen once just to see them, like when they came out, and I didn't go back, so that says something that I don't.
That says something about it, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I saw them to see them, and yeah.
I mean, I like remembering. I know this was one of his earlier ones, but I remember liking Crimson Tide when that came out. But to tell you the truth, I don't remember that much about it.
Is that Sean Connery?
No, that's
Lawrence Fishburne.
So that's Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. He's done a lot of Denzel Washington movies. I didn't realize that. That's the military exercises one.
Oh, with Channing, Stalker Channing, or whatever is in it too, I think.
No. It's Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman are the main people in it.
Yeah, and then there's... thinking of a different movie, I think.
It might be this movie. I might just not have come across her name yet.
Possibly thinking, or I'm thinking The Siege, maybe.
It might be The Siege.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm thinking about that movie. I'm mixing up movies.
You can't mix that up with, what's his face, maybe.
Because I think Denzel's in that one too, I think.
The Siege?
Or am I just being shitty and just mixing up people?
Well, no, The Siege is a Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah.
That's about the bridge, right? That's a bridge.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm mixing up military.
And that one has Annette Bening in it.
Okay, so I think that's what I'm thinking of then. Yeah.
I thought you meant Under Siege for a second. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, if I get Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I actually saw him at Fan Expo last year. It was weird.
Yeah, he's not aging well, and he's getting weirder the older he gets.
Because it was the Saturday night when John Travolta was there for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw I was volunteering and hanging around his line because he had a huge line and it went long. And at one point I had to go to the bathroom, so I went behind the thing, behind the curtains. And then coming back out, I just looked to my left, like 15 feet away from me, walking towards me is Steven Seagal, his handler. I'm like, for a second. Then it's kind of like that. It's got my eyes bugged out. And I'm like, that's kind of went back down and kind of walk. And I'm like, dude, your goatee dye is really bad. You need to take it down a couple of shades because it looks dyed.
Yeah, like I don't even think I think like it's so black. I think it's shoe polish half the time.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You need to lighten that up a little bit, man. It looks bad.
Like I understand you don't want to show your gray, but at least make it look real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, as I said, like you're like 15, 20 feet away, and I could tell that far away that it looked bad. in like half a, and it didn't want to look like I was staring. So in like the half a second I saw it, I'm like, dude, work on that.
Can we not, please? Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think at that point I have facial hair. If it started going gray and looking that bad, I'd probably just bite the bullet and take it off, maybe.
I don't know. Like I find like there's people who accept the gray and there's people who don't.
Yeah.
And I think like 85% of the time, the people who accept it, it's fine. Just people get used to seeing it. It becomes part of your face, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens when
it happens. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. To be determined.
But anyways, back to Domino.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I totally forgot that Christopher Walken was in this movie too.
I forgot almost everybody that was in this movie. Yeah. Okay, except for Keira Knightley and Mickey Rourke and Lucy Liu. I forgot everybody else who's in it.
Exactly. Yeah, because Lucy Liu was like on the back of the DVD or whatever. So like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, yeah, that's right, she is in it. And like watching everywhere else, and then like the 90210 guys, I remembered that one of them was in it, but I didn't remember that both of them were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Suvari, yes. And there was Ian Ziering, I remember it. There was the
Brian Austin Green, yeah.
I was like, he's in this too? We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Jerry Springer shows up in there, Jacqueline Bisset.
Yeah,
Monique.
Yeah, and it was weird. Yeah, and then even at the beginning of the movie, she says like 2 or 3 times, like 90210, and then they show up. I'm like, is that why you said that earlier in the movie? Just to set them up coming up?
Yeah. Because I remember the movie about that, like, part of it is about them being on a reality show, but I forgot who the hosts were.
Yeah, because I remember, because I just, for a reason, I remember Ian Ziering stuck out. So I was like, yeah, he can be there, but for whatever reason, both of them were.
Mm-hmm. So that also, technically, Oprah's in it too, because they use a clip from the Oprah show in it, and you see Oprah's face. So,
really?
At the part where they're talking about the obsession with 90210.
Oh, okay.
And they're going through little clips of the show, and
that was the show that they were on. Was her show?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. When he corrects how they're saying, you're like, no, everybody says it wrong. It's not Ian. It's not Ian. It's Ian. Yeah. Okay, it's Oprah's show. Like,
that's her show. That's hilarious.
I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah, and then the Jerry Springer skit is hilarious too. Yeah, actually, I shouldn't. I was kind of cringing through that scene. Once it started getting going on, I'm like, this. I don't like this.
No.
Like, can we I need to not watch this scene. I don't think. I
don't know. Like, well, no, it wouldn't, because Jerry Springer's been off the air for a long time. And most people won't know what Jerry Springer is.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, but this what I meant more so what Monique was saying, what she was trying to say on the show.
Honestly, I think her platform is stupid. Like, they all say, like, why would you go on Jerry Springer for this? They all say it in the movie.
Like later on, yeah.
But honestly, people are often trying to identify themselves with their own direct personal grouping.
I guess so.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody out there trying to break that shit down. Like, you know, like, you're like, what is it? She's Blacktino, you know, you can be Japanic or whatever. I could see people doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing about that scene is I was sad that she's the youngest grandmother at the age of 28.
Yeah. I was
just like,
how does that work? Like, I was trying to do the math. I'm like, that math doesn't add up. Like, I don't.
No, it can add up. You can, like, I'm thinking she had a kid at 14 and her kid had a kid at 14. That's what I'm thinking. It's 28. And I was just like, look, you can go out and have fun. You can love your kid. You can do whatever. But you might want to have a better life for your kid. So, you know how hard it was for you at 14 to have a child. Maybe not encourage your kid to have a child at 14.
Okay.
But to each their own, because the thing is later on when she's at the DMV and her boss is firing her and she's like, my HMO doesn't cover my grandkid. And he's like, you should have thought that before you became a grandmother. That's offensive. Right?
Yeah, because it wasn't her idea for her kid to have a kid, so that's.
But it's not even that. You shouldn't blame the victim for something that's happening to them.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you're like I think it's. I mean, one thing I always say is like, you do you, right?
Yeah.
If she's happy to be a grandma at 28, fine. It's not what I would have chosen. I mean, like I think that's a little too young for all of those things. Fine. But at the same time, you're there. That's your life. You do you. But don't blame her for her kid, for her granddaughter being sick and her trying to take care of her kid, because she's stuck in a system where it's absolutely stupid that it's going to cost $300,000 for her kid to get life-saving surgery. Like, it's dumb.
That's funny.
So like, and it highlights, the big problem with the healthcare system in the States, and also the poverty line and what insurance companies will cover and what they don't cover and all this kind of stuff. Because one of the biggest problems is insurance companies take all this money from people and then don't pay out at the end. And you're just like, over a lifetime, you put in like $30 million into it, and then you're dying and they're just like, here's $20. You're like,
or because of some little fucking thing that got skipped over or whatever, they're like, fuck you, you're too bad, you're screwed. So
yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, it kind of pushed that under the rug, but to me it stood out loud and clear on this, maybe like 10th watching of this movie. But I haven't watched this movie in easily more than 5 years. Definitely more than 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's probably when it first came out was when I saw it last, and then I was like, and then when I watched it again for this.
Yeah.
So I think it was 2005, I think was when it came out, or 2000. No, wait, it was 2003 or 4.
2005. No, you were right the first time.
Right.
Yeah, because I think I saw this movie in the theater, but I obviously must have liked it at that time because then I went and bought the DVD.
Yeah.
So I would have definitely watched it a few times before it just ended up on my shelf sitting there getting all dusty. So.
So I think when it hit video was probably when I saw it last.
It's been a while. But one thing, like, nothing about Keira Knightley in this movie makes her tough in any way, shape, or form. And every time she pulls out her nunchucks, I think of Napoleon Dynamite. Because like the part where he's like, like nunchaku skills and bow hunting skills and computer hacking skills. That's all I think of, because she looks like a joke while she's doing it. And I know she's supposed to be looking tough, but people aren't supposed to take her seriously because she's a chick. But she doesn't come across tough at any point in time. Is what my problem is.
Another scene where they have that bounty hunter class, and then they go and take off, and she throws a knife. I'm like, would the knife actually go through a windshield that way? Or are they just trying to do that to make it look tough?
That's not the point. That like, I didn't even care about that point in time. Like, as soon as she starts, like, she's like, what? I've been training since I was 12. And she starts pulling out the nunchucks, and I was just like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I was like, at that point, she started doing that, and I'm like, where the fuck did they come from? Because it's not like she had them like in her back pocket, and she was talking, and then all of a sudden she has them. I'm like, where the fuck did they come from?
I don't know.
Because it's like halfway through the conversation, she's all of a sudden fucking chucking. I'm like, what is she like Michelangelo in the second Ninja Turtles movie? She's going to start doing it on her finger.
Seriously, like, I don't know, but I know that's supposed to be a serious scene that's supposed to show like how tough she is, and she's like, I don't give a fuck, Like, but I just started laughing. I was just like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, because that was my main thing. Was like, where the fuck did they come from? Because at first it looked like she was just moving around, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, right, it is nunchucks.
Yeah, she comes across as like a petulant child. Like, she's like, I'm rebelling against everything I grew up with. You're gonna be blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like the actor kid that doesn't like their parents being actors, so she's like, fuck you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because I think there's a thin line between that and the character she was supposed to play, which is a disillusioned rich girl who's just like, fuck the world. But you end up with like a pouty chick who's like, look how hot I am, and I know I have nunchuck skills. Oh my god.
And
it doesn't work. Yeah. I don't know. But like the whole movie just, I think everybody besides Keira Knightley did a great job in this movie. And like everything around it, because of the style that it's done in and the voiceover and like all that stuff, just kind of like, I was just like, can we just get over this? Can we?
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm Domino Harvey so many times in the movie.
Yeah, you know, but then the thing is too, is they show what Domino looks like at the end of the movie, right? Yeah. And I know when you make movies and stuff, you take your artistic license and change them around. But they show a picture of her and I'm like, oh, she's definitely a person you don't want to mess with. Like, when I saw her, I'm like, that is a person you don't want to mess with. It's very clear, you know, but Keira Knightley does not have that same aura.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, like, I think that one director that said she's a little too beautiful sometimes, and like, for this movie, that might not be working in their favor just a little bit.
Yeah. No, but like, there's nothing wrong with being pretty.
No,
like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's the thing. But I think that just in this one specific spot, it may actually
be a detriment to her.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because it said her being tough is like, just like I said with Zhang last time. Like, that I can't take her seriously sometimes. It's just a little too cute to be trying to look angry. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I always hate when I say that every so often when I think that, but like saying it, but in this case, it kind of is true.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Like, she just doesn't pull that whole thing off very well. No. And especially like that scene where she's got like the two machine guns and she's shooting people in the hallway. I'm like, there's no way she's doing that. Like, in real life and stuff.
As soon as I saw that, I thought of that fucking shitty Max Payne movie.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Where he takes the drugs or whatever. He's that same sort of thing where he's just going crazy with the two guns. He's just like, you see his face. He's just like, going crazy. I just thought of that. And I'm like, he did a better job like doing that, but of course he was going overboard. But I just started laughing because I thought of that scene. And she was
I don't know, all of those like sequences where she was in danger and she was being tough. I was just like, are you sure? Yeah. Are you sure that's what's happening right now? I don't think so. Yeah. But but even like Lucy Liu is in that movie for what, 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Right. And the scene I love with her the most is the part where she's sharpening her pencil and she's like thinking it out on like the glass. Yeah. I'm just like, that is perfection. I am sorry.
Because I was like, this is fucking annoying the shit out of me. And if she was interviewing me, I would have just fucking lost what I was.
Yeah, but the thing is I find that Lucy Liu comes across more tough than Domino does.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
You know, because even Domino, it's very clear. Domino doesn't want to cross this woman, and it's not because she's part of the FBI. I think Domino is actually, the way she presents it, comes across as scared of her, almost.
Intimidated, a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm like, honestly, in this scene, Lucy was fucking intimidating.
Because I think even at the voiceover at the beginning of the movie, she's like, what it depends on what I say here is if I go to jail or die. It's either go to jail or die. Or one of the two, I can't remember. Yeah. So it's like she decides Domino's fate, sort of thing. So.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even have that much to say about this movie because I was just like, this is me watching the movie. Something happens. Like, really? What? Oh my god, that's the person in this movie? What is this? What is going on? Who is that? Ugh, god, she looks so dumb. Ugh. That's me with the whole movie that I was watching. And then I come across like a certain line. I was like, let me type that down. And then I have like six things that are here. I'm like, it's fine. I don't even know. One of the things is about like the lady at the beginning when they shoot her dog and she starts wailing.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. If somebody shot my dog, I'd be wailing exactly the same way. That's my note from that scene.
Yeah.
Nothing else. That's my note from that scene.
Yeah, I'd 100% act the same way she did. Yeah, just like freak out and start shooting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I've been watching over my sister's dog the last like few months. Yeah, dogs are awesome.
Yeah, I know, but that reminds me of the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Rosa gets a dog because
because Charles' dog like had a heart attack. She tried to get him another dog, like Arlo. He's like, "You come Arlo or whatever. I don't care."
Yeah.
And, like later on, he's like, "I don't like." At first, I didn't know what people like, but I had this dog for 7 days. Now I'll kill everyone in this room, and then me if something happened to him.
And that's exactly what it's like. I'm telling you,
100%.
It's exactly what that's like. You're like, this isn't my dog, but I've known this dog for 2 days, and I will murder everyone in this room if anything happens to them.
If you wrong this dog, if you don't give it this treat or pets, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
100%.
Yeah. So I saw that woman wailing. I'm like, you know what? Everybody else in there, they've never had a pet. She has a pet. I understand her pain. I get it.
100%.
So yeah, I mean that's my biggest note in this. Like I don't even. I brought up the grandma thing. I brought up the nunchucks thing with Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, Tom Waits randomly showing up in the desert.
Oh, the preacher guy. Yeah, I thought that was weird. That too. He just pulls out the coin and then which brings just to bring it back at the beginning. And I'm like, that fucking this scene makes no fucking sense. He just shows up.
But I mean, they are all on drugs.
Oh yeah, the fucking the mescaline or whatever. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I was gonna say that'd be the thing if you're not expecting to be on mescaline, that would fucking fuck you up even more.
Yeah, so that maybe what it is. It's more the fact that he was probably like a normal man, got out of the car, like, oh my god, let me help you get into the car, but they're tripping out. Yeah, and they thought something different. Maybe that's what that scene's really supposed to be about.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because I think they. Tripped out the whole sex scene too. I think because she says that she says at the beginning of the movie that he liked her but never did anything, and then they kind of come to when they were still in under the RV or whatever. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So.
But that's I don't know. But one of the most random, well, not really the most random thing, but have you ever seen a movie called Seven Psychopaths?
Seven Psychopaths. That's Colin Farrell, isn't it?
Colin Farrell.
I think I started it, but never ended up finishing for whatever reason.
Christopher Walken's in it as well.
Oh, I just never ended up picking it back up for whatever reason.
Woody Harrelson's in it. There's a whole bunch of people in this movie.
Sam
Rockwell. These are not in order. Hold on. What order are these in? There's 7 people that are Tom Waits is of course one of them. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people in this movie. Anyways, it's a great movie, right? Yeah. And what it is about a guy who is writing a story about these 7 crazy people, and he's telling 7 crazy stories. It's pretty much what it is. And one of the people is Tom Waits. And Tom Waits is this guy who, has a rabbit and calls Colin Farrell's character. And in it, Tom Waits telling this story, and he's looking for this woman. He's like, put my number up at the end of the movie. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like even in the movie, people are just like, what the fuck is up with that guy? Like, I don't even understand it. But what's really funny about it is that at the end of the movie, like if you watch the credits, that guy's phone number is at the end of the credits, which is really funny. But anyways, that's not my point. My point is that Tom Waits plays just as fucked up of a person, just more like, not like I'm wandering the desert on drugs, but more like I'm wandering the desert and I'm going to murder everybody I meet. The vibe. And it's just so good. Like, it's so good. So I recommend that one. You should. I think you'll like it. I think you should give it a try.
All right. I think I may have a copy of it somewhere, so I think I'll check that out. Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I saw Tom Waits show up, that's the first thing that popped into my mind. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, so I guess that means I actually don't know what Tom Waits looked like because I didn't know that until he told me.
Okay.
Because I'm aware of who he is, but I guess I never actually saw a picture of him before. So
yeah, I find him such a, because if I remember correctly, he was originally like a musician, and he's sort of transitioned into doing some acting.
Or like just one of those guys that just show, like David Bowie just shows up in the random thing every so often.
Yeah. I find like he's a weird guy. I will tell you this right now. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, that's I think just even before this movie and realizing that was him, I think he was a bit of a weird guy. Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so I actually find it very entertaining when he shows up and stuff because he's shown up in a couple of things.
All right, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Do you have any notes about Domino?
Yeah, not really. I just just it was weird, and I always totally forgot that Walken was in it. And how can you forget Christopher Walken? Really,
I know, which is just sad, right? So sad.
Really, yeah. Because the one I liked in it probably came out like a couple years before this was the Rock movie, The Rundown.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
great movie.
Yeah, going to that movie, my girlfriend at the time wanted to go see it, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go with it. I'm like, I did not expecting much, and that movie was fucking great. I love that movie so much.
It's people forget that movie exists.
I know, because that was his first like big. Other than the Scorpion King, that was his first real big movie.
Yeah, this is the movie that made me like The Rock. Not anything before. It was this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was a fucking amazing movie, and Sean William Scott was pretty good in it too. He was.
Rosario Dawson's in it too.
Yeah, she was fucking great. I think that was a movie that made me realize who she was too, because she's great, and obviously she's Rosario Dawson as well. So
of course, yes.
Yeah. So obviously, I don't need to say more about that.
People are just like, we understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's not the best Tony Scott movie, but if you're watching, if you're watching Man on Fire and Deja Vu, you might as well watch the trilogy of the weirdness, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the lesser of the three movies.
Yeah, but the thing is if you've seen a Tony Scott movie based on this, you've seen all of Tony Scott's movies.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this makes me want to watch Deja Vu again, though. I really like that movie.
No, makes me want to watch Man on Fire. I like that one the best.
Yeah, actually, I think I've watched Deja Vu more, so I may actually go watch Man on Fire again. I do like both of those.
That's a good one.
And I kind of do like Paula Patton too, and she was in Deja Vu, so she was, and Jim Caviezel.
Oh yeah, Jim Caviezel. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I like the movie at least. So.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. As I said, always has a caveat. If I will say a movie is good, then sometimes I'll just say I like it, and that means it's probably not the best movie, but I still like it.
Look, there are movies out there and TV shows that are pure trash, and I just fucking enjoy them. Yeah, exactly. And I just I don't care. I'm not here to defend the movie. I'm just here to give my opinion of it.
Yeah, like my thumbs are up.
Yeah, most of the time people are just like, that movie's shit. And I'm like, I know, but I love it. Like, I'm not even trying to defend myself. Not trying to defend it. I'm just like, I'm the one. It's my fault this thing exists.
Exactly, and my biggest one for that, The Hill of Die On, is the Ang Lee Hulk movie. I like it.
Again, I've still never actually watched that movie.
At this point, I would, even though I say I like it, don't.
Okay.
Even though I do like it, every time I watch it, it does have diminishing returns, but I still say I like it. I do like it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, my thing is I refuse to say anything about it because I've still never seen it. Yeah. And then the one I did see, which was The Incredible Hulk, was garbage. So I can't base any of my opinion on Hulk movies on that.
Yeah. So So it was marginally better, like the Ed Norton one, but I like the Hank Lee one.
The thing is, I think Ed Norton's a great actor. I loved all of the stuff he'd done, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to see it. And I was like, this movie is shit.
Yeah, it didn't suck because of him. Yeah, it just sucked because it was a bad movie.
Yeah, and Tim Roth is in there, and he's as Abomination, and Tim Roth is such a good actor.
Yeah,
how could you ruin this?
Yeah, exactly. Like he was okay at best in that movie, and how can you have fucked up Tim Roth?
Exactly. Like, it's crazy. Apparently it can be done.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully he doesn't blame Canada on that one.
Yeah.
Because I think, was it all shot in Canada or just parts of it?
It was shot in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because especially the last fight scene is all down Yonge Street.
Yeah, because you definitely see that Dundas Square in Zanzibar.
Yes.
Stuff, yeah. Because as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, I know that part is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it wasn't Yonge Dundas Square yet. It was just Yonge and Dundas still at that point in time. I think even like the Sam the Record Man sign is in there.
I think it was probably right around, probably right before it went down or whatever. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I think that was like right before I lived in Newmarket, so it was like, so I wasn't able to go downtown and see it.
Yeah.
And then too, I think like I was working midnights like the week that they were shooting the Batman Superman stuff or whatever, or Suicide Squad or whatever the fuck they were shooting.
I saw I got to walk by the downed helicopter on Bay Street.
Oh, nice.
Like they had it set up. I think they were shooting that night, but like it was like I was just walking down the street going to Union Station, and I was walking down. I was like on my phone, and I look up, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And because I didn't see any like ambulances, and nobody was like screaming and stuff, and like there was a guy going like, "Keep moving," and like, he was just bored with his job. And I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "It's for the movie. Just keep going." I'm like, "Can I take a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, but you just can't, hold up the area." And I was like, "Okay." As I'm walking by, click, 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 and I was like, "I'm good."
Yeah. The one I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about was Shazam. Because I was kind of hoping to see something about that. Then they're like, we're shooting in Toronto, and then we're done. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, because when I saw Shazam, I recognized everywhere they filmed, but I don't remember anywhere being shut down at any point in time.
Yeah, they're obviously at the CNE for a good chunk of the movie, so like I don't remember hearing anything about that either.
Yeah, they were at the CNE. They were at.
And I lived like I lived like not too far away from there either, so I'm like, what the hell?
They were at those buildings at like York Street or something, like right off the Gardner and stuff like that. That one part, yeah. So I was like right there. So I was like, and I lived not too far away from it at the time. I'm like, how did I not hear about this? But they film movies here all the time. I mean, like there was like Kick-Ass, there was Repo Man, there's tons of them.
Yeah, I think a good chunk of those were before I lived around the area though. So. But then, as soon as I did, I'm like, nope, nothing. I think in the year and a half I lived at where I was living, I got like one notice that they may be shooting at like a block up, and then I didn't see anything.
Yeah, they film TV shows in my area all the time, so I get notices. Like
so I was at Adelaide and Bathurst. That was.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. I would have thought that area got shut down all the time.
Yeah, you would think so, but I said I only got one notice like once when I was coming home from midnight shift. They were like, "Oh yeah, like a block away, up at Queen. They might shut it down one day," and then I didn't see it.
Interesting.
So, because I would have figured the same thing. Yeah, like that would be a good area for stuff. But the only thing I saw about in that area is when they were doing the CNE stuff, and I was like at home one like day off, and when they were practicing for the Jets to go by, and that freaked the hell out of me
because it's loud.
and it was like right over my apartment. Then I was like, oh yeah, I know what's going on now. It took me a minute to realize what was going on.
Yeah, before you duck and cover for sure. They're like, wait a second. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So I guess, your last thoughts on Dogma and Domino?
Of course, like Dogma obviously holds up, and I said one of the earlier Kevin Smith movies that really does hold up. So definitely check that out. As I said, it's having fun, not making fun of religion. So hopefully going into it with an open mind if you haven't seen it. And if you like Keira Knightley, watch Domino because she's kind of cute, but aside from that, it's not a great. Aside from that, it's not a great movie.
I don't know. My thing is Dogma, great. It ages well. It's really funny. You can definitely skip Domino, but Edgar Ramírez is very pretty in it.
Choco was he was pretty rad.
He was pretty rad. So that's it. Well, thank you again for coming back on the show.
Not a problem.
I will have you back again, I guess, at some point in time for another episode.
Sounds good. I am definitely up for coming back.
Sweet. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we'll be talking about two kind of weird movies, Donnie Darko and Doom. Hope you'll be here to listen.